Are you considering a move to Richardson, Texas, but you don't really know enough about it? You don't know what the locals are saying. You don't know if they love it, if they hate it. Well, you're in the right place because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So be sure to watch until the end because you're going to want to hear all the reasons people are moving in and all the reasons that people are moving out. If this is your first time to the channel and you're excited to learn everything there is to know about the Dallas-Fort Worth area, be sure to subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you're always up to date on the latest market insights. My name's Tara McGraw. I'm a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I help people like you every single day. So whether you're looking to make a move in a week or a year down the road, across country, or all the way across the globe, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description below. My team and I would love to help you make a smooth transition to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So what is great about Richardson? Well, I'm gonna tell you because there are a lot of great things. I actually really love Richardson and I wouldn't mind living there. The first thing that I will list is the location. You cannot beat the location. It is very centrally located when it comes to the suburbs and being in close proximity to Dallas and all of the places that you're really gonna wanna go. You can't beat Richardson. Far North Dallas is great, but Richardson is right next to it, like literally right next door to Far North Dallas. Those are my two favorite areas. So Richardson is kind of centrally located. You've got Dallas to the south of it. You can go up and down 75. You can hop on 635. All sorts of back roads that'll get you there too if there's traffic, but it's very, very easy access to Dallas. It's pretty much the next best thing. And you've got all the suburbs to the north of it. So if you want to zip up to Frisco or you don't want to commute all the way downtown to work, well, I mean, it's really not that long of a commute downtown, but let's just say you don't want to deal with that and you just want to avoid getting into the city. Well, you can commute to Frisco or Plano or one of the other suburbs over there because there's a lot of work up there, which that's another pro that we'll get to. But yeah, you can get to any of those areas very, very easily from Richardson. Frisco's got a lot of entertainment. Go up there. You want to go catch a concert at American Airlines Center? 25 minutes. Not that bad. So location overall, 2 thumbs up from the old T-Bird here. Richardson's also a fairly safe place to live. Niche.com gives it a B- for safety, which that's actually really good because they gave Dallas an F. Okay, so B- is looking pretty good. I think Plano has a B- too. So, you know, when we're thinking of Richardson, those of us that live in the area, we're thinking it's a safe place to live. I don't hear a lot going on over there. It's mostly suburbs. There's not a whole lot of commercial development. There is some, but not a huge amount. So commercial is usually what's going to kind of draw the crime in. And Richardson's just kind of like a sleepy little suburb. People love it. I love it. Now the commercial that is there, I will go ahead and say that is pro number 3, is that the commercial that is there is good. Okay, you've got some great restaurants. Sueño is one of my favorites. You're gonna hear me talk about that time and time again because I will drive to Richardson, which is not very far from where I am, but I will drive over there when there are things closer because I wanna go get one of Dallas' best margaritas. They got voted that 2 years in a row, so I'm good with that. I trust that. So I'm gonna go over there, get some brisket tacos, and I'm gonna check that out a lot. I used to go like once a week, so I had a little bit of a Sueño problem. Anyway, okay, so they have great restaurants, but these are not chain restaurants. They have another one called Partenope, which is like Neapolitan pizza. There's a cute place called String Bean, which is kind of like a family restaurant where they have, you know, like country foods, like chicken fried steak and pot roast and the things that like, you know, nobody knows how to make anymore, but your mom did. So that's a good one to know about. So lots of cute little restaurants in the area, but you know, not huge chains. There's Jasper's is a great steakhouse over at City Line. So you do have some commercial development and that is a pro, but I will say there's not a lot of like, you know, you're not gonna have like a Red Lobster or, I mean, maybe they do, but I don't think anyone goes there. Another pro to Richardson is going to be the affordability. You can get a lot for your money in Richardson. Compared to Dallas, Richardson's got it going on, okay? So people are buying a lot of the old homes up in Richardson because it developed around like the 60s and 70s. You know, that's mostly what you're going to find up there. 60s, 70s ranch style homes, which when they're remodeled are really, really nice. And the thing is, those ranch style homes had to be built on a big lot because a ranch style, if you don't know, is a 1-story and they're pretty long and wide. So they had to be built on bigger lots. Well, people are coming up there and they're buying those whenever they're, you know, not so great anymore. Maybe they fell into disrepair. Well, they're knocking those down and then they're going in and they're building the larger 2-story homes. So you've got the nice big lot, you know, 0.35 acre. That's a pretty good sized lot for the city. So you can go up there and get one at a reasonable price, you know, maybe like $600,000. That's pretty good. Dallas, some of the areas of Dallas, you can't touch that for less than $800,000. Okay, so that is really good. Sometimes you can even get it for like more like $500,000. It matters what part of Richardson, you know, is it like a fancier part or not? But most of Richardson is pretty nice. So I really don't think you can go wrong with any of the areas, but you can get in there, you can get a lot for a good price. And then they're going and they're building these gorgeous 6,000 square foot homes. And you could sell that for 1.6, 1.7. I even saw one that was listed at 2.3 the other day, which really blew me away because that's not prices that we're used to seeing in Richardson. So I was like, well, okay, Richardson, coming on up. Now I know that doesn't sound very affordable, that, you know, when you're talking multi-million-dollar homes, but I'm just trying to explain that you can get a lot of land for your money. And these other homes that are older, you know, in other parts of Dallas, they would be, you know, 1.4 million dollars for an older home. But these you can get remodeled, same condition, and it's going to be more like 900, a million, something like that. So you can get a lot more for your money when it's compared to other parts of town. They have other areas where you can still get homes for $350,000, $400,000, which is getting more and more difficult to find, but you can still find that in Richardson. A huge pro to Richardson are the schools. A lot of people move there just for the schools because, like I said, it's really close to Dallas, but you've got the good schools if you just cross over into Richardson. They're rated A- by niche.com, which is great because, I mean, Dallas is like a C and, you know, like you do not want to go to Dallas schools. So Richardson schools are good. Some are better than others. You know, they're all rated individually, but overall, the entire district gets an A-. So that's really great. They also have charter schools. So if maybe you're in one of the areas that you feel like your school is not as good as some of the other Richardson schools, you can apply to go to the charter schools. And from what I understand, I have friends that live there and their children go to the charter schools, and they've told me that it's really not as difficult to get into them as people might think. It's not like getting into the ones in Dallas. It's a little bit easier in Richardson because it's smaller. There are a lot of parks in Richardson. So if you are outdoorsy, Richardson's great. They have a lot of trees. I always talk about trees because, you know, new construction, a lot of the trees get taken down. But when you have a more mature neighborhood like Richardson or a more mature suburb, then you're gonna have the big trees. They've been there a long time and it's so pretty when you're driving down the street and the little treetops are touching. I just love that. So you get a lot of that in Richardson. You can walk and, you know, everybody's always out walking their dog on a nice day and you see people strolling up there. So I like it because you can get outside. They have tons of parks. I want to say there's like 30, 35 parks in Richardson. And they've also got they've got an aquatic center you can go check out. They've got a bunch of rec centers and they've got a nature preserve. So if you want to get outside over there, you can check that out. It's a 58-acre nature preserve. So, okay, that's a lot bigger than I thought. Good size. There's some water there. I don't know if you can fish or not, but you can definitely get out there and ride the bike trails. Lots of biking and hiking around there. So definitely good for you outdoorsy people. Now, as I mentioned before, you do have some job opportunity in the Richardson area. You've got AT&T there. Cisco is there. They call it the telecom corridor because you've got a lot of tech and IT type places. TI, Texas Instruments, is there. They've got a big place. I'm not sure if TI is actually in Richardson or if it's just right on the edge of it, but a lot of people work for TI and live in Richardson. So you've got all that. Texas Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas is actually there, and State Farm has their headquarters over at the City Line development. So you don't have to go a long way to get a job. The city services, in my opinion, are a huge pro to Richardson because they have this little app that you can download if you are a resident there, and you can request all the things. It has all the information that you need right there, all the numbers to call, the people to email. You can request services, like let's say you need bulk trash pickup. Well, most places have that once a month and it's on a special day, and you better not miss it or else the stuff's gonna start piling up in your garage. Well, not in Richardson. You can actually request that right on the little app and they'll come and pick it up. You just can't do it more than once a week. But like, I mean, my gosh, how much trash are you generating if you need more than once a week for bulky trash pickup? So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. There are lots of cute festivals in Richardson. I think that's a pro because we're festival people here in Texas. Now, for some reason, a lot of people want to have festivals in the summer, which I don't really get, but we have them other times of year too. So in May, they have the Wildflower Festival in Richardson, which is really cool. They have a lot of bands that come in. There are food and vendors and, you know, arts and crafts and activities and all that kind of thing. Then in the fall, they've got the Harvest Festival over at Huffines Park. And that's, you know, all done up for fall and super cute. And one of the days they have, they call it Pawtoberfest instead of Oktoberfest. And they do a whole like thing themed for dogs. So you can put them in a costume and bring them up there and put them in a contest. It's super cute. They even have a 4th of July celebration there. So, you know, you can find outdoor things that are fun and festivals to entertain yourself all the time. Okay, so let's talk about the cons. There are a few. Even though Richardson is amazing and I love it, there's a few cons, but it's pretty much the same ones that are in all the suburbs, okay? So like traffic, all right? 75, it's a good one to have. It's a good one to have access to because it goes to a lot of places, but the traffic on 75 can be bad. And you know, I'm gonna give that as a con to any of the suburbs that are off 75. It's a fact. And I don't like 75, so there you go, 75 traffic. I'll say it, I've said it, and I'll say it again. The weather in North Texas in general is not amazing, okay? It's just not. It gets really hot here in the summertime. Now, I'm a big baby. I don't like the heat, okay? I don't really like the cold either, but you know, I really, really don't like the heat, and that's a con to Richardson because it's a con to all of Texas, okay? So in the summer, probably about July 4th is when you really start to bake out there, okay? So July 4th, July, August, September, those are gonna be your hot months. But here's the trade-off. You've got October, that is magical because we're all coming off the heat and we're all like, oh my God, we can go outside again. This is amazing. Hey neighbor, I haven't seen you in 3 months. How have you been? Did you cut your hair? Oh my gosh, you look so different. Okay, because that's how it is in the summer. We just, you know, we stay inside, we gotta have the air conditioning, or we get in the water, okay? If you have a pool, get in the pool, get a boat, go to the lake, something like that, because that's really the only way to deal with it is with water. So we don't really get outside that much in the summer otherwise. So that's tough. But then about about October, it's really nice. November, really nice. A lot of places it's getting really cold. December, pretty nice, okay? Sometimes it can be a little less Christmassy because you're not having the cold weather and it's really only like 60 degrees. And then, you know, you might get a little cold snap and you're like, ooh, it's 50 degrees. Let me put a little jacket on, a light jacket in December. But then it might go up to 70 degrees and then you're outside riding your bike again. So, you know, December, you just never know. I mean, it can be very, very nice during those months. January, February is where it gets really cold. That's where you might get a little snow. Yes, we do have a little bit of snow here, maybe once a year, maybe once every other year. Like it's not often, and it is usually only just like maybe a couple inches. Like we just had 3 inches and we were all like, oh my God, let's all make snowmen. Like this is amazing. There was a snowman on every yard on my block practically because, you know, like we just don't see it that often. I even saw an adult out there making her own snowman by herself. So, you know, we just get excited about snow because we don't see it a lot. So snow in the wintertime every once in a while, but then by March, April, May, you're looking really good. June can even be really nice. That's when it starts to get warmer, but you know, it's warm enough to get in the pool, but like you're not super dying yet. So, you know, like it's a trade-off, okay? If you don't mind those few hot months, then the rest of it I think is pretty worth it. You are gonna need a car in Richardson because they have the DART, the rail system. There's a little bit of a rail system here, but it's not really something that anybody ever uses, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe people use it, but it's really, we're not a public transportation city. We just aren't, okay? I mean, if that's your only means and you know, you cannot financially afford to have a car, then okay, you know, in that case, by all means, use the public transportation. Richardson's gonna be limited on that, so you may not wanna move to Richardson. But the rest of us, you know, we all have cars. We like cars here. We drive them a lot. We are used to it. We love car shows. Like, we're car people here. So you are gonna need a vehicle if you move to this area. So if you're somewhere that you don't have to have a car and you can walk everywhere, then that could be a con for you. We do get inclement weather. So when I say inclement weather, I'm not talking about the heat or the snow. I'm talking about hail. So we do have hail. So you're gonna need a garage wherever you live because you're gonna need a car and you're gonna need a garage to put it in. So insurance prices may be a little bit higher because of the hailstorms, because of all the roofs that get damaged. So, you know, that's just something we're used to. You know, there's been like 2 tornadoes ever in my life in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that actually hit something. Usually those are like way out in the middle of nowhere where people don't even realize they happen. And in Oklahoma. So we don't really see a lot of that. You get some thunderstorms though. So hailstorms, thunderstorms, those are pretty much the major things that you're going to be looking at. You can get some high winds in there, but overall, it's really not too bad. A con for you could be the nightlife. Now, we don't really have a lot of that in Richardson. You have some bars and things that you could go to, some little pubs. You could go over to City Line, and there are a few just kind of scattered about. But it's really not a place for, you know, like let's just say you are single and looking to mingle. You're probably not going to find a lot of opportunity for that. I mean, like I said, you can go hit up one of the bars or something like that, but otherwise not a whole lot of nightlife. The good news is that you are close to Dallas. So it's really easy if you are single to jump on 75 and zip down to Dallas where they have all the nightlife. So have no fear. You can still find it. You're just not gonna find it right next door. One thing I would consider a con about Richardson is that because some of the homes are getting older, they are kind of falling into disrepair. In the nicer areas, those lots are being purchased and they're being, you know, the homes are being torn down and you don't have anything to worry about there. But in some of the other areas, there are, you know, let's just say some more affordable homes over there that were built maybe like more like the 80s, and they just weren't built really well, and they're kind of some of those little cookie cutter houses, and they're kind of, those neighborhoods can get a little bit dicey over there just because, you know, they weren't built really well. So the foundations are getting messed up and people can't really afford to fix them, and it's not the greatest part of town. It's not terrible if you needed to live somewhere really affordable, but it's not the greatest. So some of that's kind of getting a little bit yucky, and the commercial areas right around those neighborhoods are kind of a little bit yucky. But Richardson knows this, and they're working on it. They have a big plan in order that they are going around and they are revitalizing these different areas. So while I would consider that a con for now, I wouldn't consider it a long-term con because people are going in there, they are redeveloping those areas, and they are flipping a lot of those houses too. So those are good little investment properties for some people because they're not super expensive, and you can make them really nice because it's a small house, so it's not going to be super expensive to fix it up either. So those neighborhoods are turning over, and I think that they'll be looking pretty good here in the next couple of years. So that's about all I have for the pros and cons to living in Richardson, Texas. A lot of pros, not a whole lot of cons. Like I said, I love Richardson. I would live there in a split second if I had the right opportunity because I think it's great. And I think you might like it too, but maybe you need to come and visit and check it out. If you are thinking about making a move to the area and you'd like a little help, book a strategy call. My contact information is in the description below. My team and I would love to help you make a smooth transition to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time in the next video.